This is the second of the two videos on the major accomplishments of the Articles of the Confederation. And we'll start here with one of the most significant of the accomplishments in the Articles, the Northwest Ordinance of 1787, shown here, which it also addressed some of the problems of land that still existed. And after that, this video will talk about some of the accomplishments regarding America's new system of money. The Northwest Ordinance of 1787 focused on the rapidly developing Northwest Territory. That includes the area of the Ohio Territory and the area of the Great Lakes beyond it. It was collectively called the Northwest Territory. And the idea was initially to divide the Northwest Territory into 3 to 5 separate territories. And eventually these territories could be allowed to enter as equal states, with the same representation according to the rules applied to the other states, the original states. And it provided for an orderly process for them to go from a territory to an equal state. Initially, each territory would be administered by a governor, the governor's secretary, and 3 judges named by the Articles of Confederation Congress. When the adult male population reached 5,000, however, these 5,000 people could elect a legislature to share power with a council of 5 people chosen by the governor and Congress. And at this stage, the territory could send a non-voting delegate to the Articles of Confederation Congress. Finally, when the total population reached 60,000 people, the people could write their own state constitution and apply to the Articles of Confederation Congress for official statehood. And again, this was on equal terms with all other states. And this was unheard of ever before in history. Those in power would obviously be, the states already existing would obviously be voluntarily diluting their power. By doing it this way, the Congress arguably assured that the U.S. would remain intact, not break up by disgruntled Westerners who felt slighted by the eastern states. It also ensured a large land-owning middle class, a sense of belonging that made the new country more stable. Interestingly, it by admitting the states as equal to the others, as it really assured that the United States would grow without great internal tension. I should note as well that the Northwest Ordinance of 1787 included a Bill of Rights for people that were there, and that, of course, anticipated the Federal Bill of Rights that would pass in 1791 with the new Constitution. It provided for people the freedom of worship, proportional representation, trial by jury, common law, a writ of habeas corpus, and the right of private contracts, all later ensured in the Constitution's Bill of Rights, which again we'll talk about that later on. I should note as well that the Northwest Ordinance of 1787 also expressly prohibited slavery. It wasn't much of an issue because the lack of slaveholders moving into the Northwest, the people from the North are moving there. Everyone supported pretty much the Northwest Ordinance of 1787 because they figured it increases the value of land, making more settlers come. And speculators saw more value in what they could own, and the federal government saw higher prices for the land they sold. But again, what was really huge here was that it provided a clear mechanism for all the states to enter the Union and enter as equal states. And again, I cannot overemphasize the importance of this. Outside of the Northwest Ordinance of 1787 and the settlement of the issue of lands, I want to mention one other success of the Articles of Confederation, and that was in proposing our nation's first system of coinage. With foreign coins circulating in America, the financier Robert Moore, shown on the top, and I mentioned him earlier, tried to bridge the differences by finding the lowest common denominator for the various coins circulating in America, which he tabulated was 1,440th of a Spanish dollar. Now, this was way too small to be practical, so Thomas Jefferson, shown on the bottom here, proposed just using the Spanish dollar, already known to the American people. Then Jefferson advocated a decimal system for coins less than $1. A coin for 1/100th of $1, a coin for 1/10, a coin for 1/5, and a coin for 1/2 of $1. Jefferson then proposed that these coins would be in silver, but you could redeem your silver coins for gold according to a given ratio, he said. There wasn't any independent market in silver or gold, so the Articles of Confederation would just set this ratio themselves. This, of course, by the way, meant that the value of the new U.S. coins depended on the value of gold, and at least in this sense, it was kind of putting the United States on what would later be termed a gold standard. When the Articles of Confederation were replaced by the Constitution, the new Constitutional Congress passed the Coinage Act of 1792. This is after the Articles of Confederation, as I say, but I'm going to go ahead and talk about it here. It ended up providing for coins in copper, the half cent and cent, in silver, the half dime, half dollar, and dollar, and in gold, what they called the quarter eagle, which was worth $2.50, the half eagle worth $5, and the full eagle, which was worth $10. This Coinage Act of 1792 also provided for the first mint in Philadelphia, and you can see a picture of it here. Obviously, this was not from the early national period because it's got a card, and it was taken in the early 1900s, but it's the same building. In March 1793, the mint produced its first coins, which were the copper cent. Incidentally, the first mint was the first branch of the new federal government to employ women. This concludes the second of the two videos on the major accomplishments of the Articles of Confederation.